I am so incredibly excited for today's video because we're going to be talking about affordable alternatives to high-end sparkly makeup products. And if you've been watching my videos for a little time now, you have probably heard me talk about almost every single one of these products in previous videos, with maybe only a few exceptions. But I thought we would finally go ahead and put everything together and talk about dupes. And the products that I'm talking about in this video are all really great products. In a lot of the examples, they are equally as good as the more high-end versions that I'm going to show, or at least comparable to the point that you wouldn't feel FOMO for not getting the high-end product. And just like in a lot of my other videos, I'm going to be swatching all of these products and also trying them on. Hopefully this will provide you with all the information that you need. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first set of products we're going to talk about are the Fenty Gloss Bomb Shimmer Sticks that came out earlier this spring and people have been loving on ever since. This is the shade called Icy Amethyst, and this is very widely available at Sephora, Ulta, the Fenty website. These have become a beloved formula. They're basically like a very sparkly lip balm, and most of the shades give about a light to medium opacity. The shade Icy Amethyst is basically a sheer purple that has beautiful silver, blue, and purple sparkles. The particle size of the glitters is a little bit larger than the typical gloss bombs. In that way, you may be able to feel them slightly on the lips, although for me personally, they feel pretty smooth. Then later in the summer, a Chinese beauty brand that I have really come to know and love over the past couple of years called Juicy came out with their Glazed Rouge Ultra Shine lip balms. These are listed online as retailing for $20, although I've seen them on sale on the Juicy website for $16 for quite some time now. Juicy has some absolutely lovely formulas, and I would say that this definitely gives the vibes of the Fenty Gloss Bomb Shimmer Sticks. They've got 4 shades right now, and a couple of them actually are decently different than the Fenty. So if you enjoy the Fenty and you're looking for some new shades, that could be another reason to check these out. Also, if you have an easier time getting your hands on Juicy than Fenty, that's another great reason to check these out. Okay, now we're going to talk about a dupe for one of the Pat McGrath lip glosses that I absolutely love called Astral Moonflower. And I'm comparing this shade with that from Kiko Milano. Here is Astral Moonflower. It retails for $29 and it's a very beautiful sheer ethereal gloss that has blue sparkles throughout. It looks beautiful all on its own, and it also looks beautiful topped over other lip combos if you just want to make them a little bit celestial. I feel like one of my favorite things to do is to top a gloss like this over a deeper lip. I think having some affordable alternatives for Pat McGrath glosses is really great because they are pricey and you can run through these glosses pretty quick. If you haven't tried the sparkly lip glosses from Kiko Milano, I highly recommend them. They are very affordable. I see them listed on Amazon for around $13, and you can also get it at Ulta. This is the shade Frozen Light Blue, which definitely gives the vibes of Astral Moonflower. The formulas aren't exactly the same. I would say that the Pat McGrath feels slightly thicker, but they're both incredibly comfortable and non-gritty. And it's also just nice to know that Kiko is a brand that has become more and more accessible in the US because they are based in Italy. I've had a very good experience with the products that I've tried from them, and they definitely feel more high-end, but with very affordable price points. Okay, now we're going to talk about another very popular product, and that's the Fenty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighters. And this is a mini palette that I have that's not currently available, but all of the shades I want to say are, if not most of them. And this is one of the most popular shades, which is the pink one called What a Brat. And this is definitely a very pricey highlighter. If you get the full pan, it costs $40. This is a very foiled highlighter. You can use it in a variety of ways, either as an intense cheek highlight or as eyeshadow. And What a Brat has a silver sparkle throughout. The next formula I'm going to talk about is Moira's Dreamlight Highlighters, and these aren't an exact dupe for the Fenty, but they definitely will give a similar effect in that they're very foiled and intense highlighters. They've got a beautiful variety of shades just like Fenty. These retail for $10, but I've seen them on sale for less than that, even like around $7. And I think that's an absolute steal for the quality that you get with the Moira. I actually prefer this formula of highlighter to the Kilowatt Foil one from Fenty. And by the way, this is the shade Foxy Pink, which is swatched under What a Brat. The next formula I'm going to talk about is from MAC, and they recently came out with a brand new highlighter in the shade Investment. This is a green highlighter that has a cream to powder finish. It's new to my collection, but honestly, I really like it so far. The only thing is, it's quite expensive. It's $36. I've been really into green highlighter recently, and just colorful highlighters in general. I just think they're so fun. This formula from MAC is really lovely, and what I love about this shade in particular is that there's no white cast on my skin tone. I know I've talked about this in previous videos as well, but I also really enjoy a highlighter that doesn't have sparkle, especially for day-to-day wear. And for dupes, I'm actually going to talk about two shades from NYX. The first is Butter Mint. NYX actually came out with two green highlighters this year, this one and the other one that I'm going to show as well. Love this shade so much, and it actually doesn't have much sparkle and it doesn't look super sparkly on the skin. The only thing is that Butter Mint on me has somewhat of a white cast, so I would say that it's probably not going to be the best choice if you have kind of a medium deep skin tone or if you're deeper. The NYX highlighters retail for $12. NYX actually has a second green highlighter called Butter in Black, and I think that this one is much better suited if you have a medium to deeper complexion. Not that you couldn't use it if you have a lighter skin tone, especially as an eyeshadow, but this one doesn't have a white cast on me, and it's a super pretty shade. It's an olive tone shade, and it has a kind of deep purple duochrome shift, and I thought this one looked so pretty on. I don't have another shade quite like this. Now this shade is a little bit sparkly, but it looks so beautiful on the skin that I'm willing to overlook it. So I think both of these are great affordable green highlighter alternatives to the MAC. Okay, the next product I'm going to talk about is an oldie but a goodie. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow. And if you've been following me for some time, you may be surprised that I really enjoy these cream shadow pots, especially because I love really sparkly eyeshadow, but I just think that these give such a beautiful sheen on my eyelids. I love the whipped moussey texture of them. I love the way they reflect the light. They're easy, effortless, and they feel luxurious. But the only thing is, of course, because it's Charlotte Tilbury, they don't come in a bunch of kind of really fun shades. The shade that I always gravitated toward is Oyster Pearl, which is the one I have swatched here. And a good affordable alternative to this formula is from Almay. These are called the Velvet Foil Cream Eyeshadows. They retail for under $10. You get a ton of product in them, and they really are, formula-wise, a beautiful dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. They also come in a similar array of shades, and they're the closest that I've come to finding a cream shadow alternative. Some of you may know about Moira having a cream shadow that's supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, but it's not very good, which is why I didn't include it in this video. And here's what the two formulas look like swatched side by side. Charlotte Tilbury costs $35 and Almay costs $5 to $7. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Urban Decay Moondust shadows. This is the cult classic shade called Solstice. It's one of my own personal favorite shades. It's one of the blue-brown duochromes. It's been around for a while. As you know, the Urban Decay Moondust shadows are pricey. They retail for $24 a piece. I do expect that they're going to be on sale, and they're definitely a classic for a reason. You have a pretty kind of scattered sparkle with a lot of the shades, but honestly, you can get very sparkly eyeshadows that will give you the effect of Moondust shades for a fraction of the price. And this is where the single shadows from Beauty Creations called Riding Solo enter the chat. This is the shade Outa, but honestly, this is a formula you should just know about because these shadows are beautiful and so affordable. These single shadows retail for $6, and honestly, they feel high-end, both in the packaging and in how they perform. Aura is also a duochrome that has kind of a brown to blue-green shift. It's a perfect neutrals with the twist, and honestly, I find it to be even more intense and sparkly than Solstice. And I think that part of the reason you can get a higher intensity is because it's not as firmly pressed as the Urban Decay. But just one of my own theories. They have a great variety of shades, and I would definitely recommend checking them out. Okay, now, of course, I have to talk about a cult classic moondust shadow, and that's Space Cowboy. This is Space Cowboy. It's probably Urban Decay's most iconic moondust shadow. It's a sparkly champagne topper, and it is so beloved. You get a very kind of piecey, sparkle-like effect with this shade. And at certain angles, when you look at it, it almost looks like just a sheer wash of sparkle without any base color, which is part of why I think it is as popular as it is. Some people even like wearing it on the face as a highlighter. In my little demo, I layered it over Space Cowboy, the liquid shadow that came out earlier this year. And the shade that I'm going to compare to Space Cowboy is Ritz from ColourPop. The Super Shock shadows are under $10. This is a great dupe for Space Cowboy. And I wanted to mention this formula not only because I think that Ritz in particular is a good dupe for Space Cowboy, but also because they've got a lot of shades in their line that are good dupes for higher end shades. And the Super Shock shadows are beloved for a reason. Some of the shades have a great sparkle. They are so incredibly affordable, and they're constantly coming out with new shades. In terms of the formula itself, I do feel like it's pretty different from the Moondust shadows. They have a bounce in the pan. They feel like they have a cream to powder finish, but the effect on the lid is the same type of sparkly topper, especially with this shade in particular. Okay, next we're going to talk about another iconic product, and it's from Fenty. It's the Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. Whether or not you like it or you hate it, this is a timeless product. It's been popular for years. It's going to continue to be popular. And part of the reason why is because it gives a beautiful sheer diamond sparkle. It has such a versatility in that you can wear it all on its own. You can use it as a little bit of a topper to amp up an eyeshadow look. But let's face it, at $43, these are pricey. And to be honest, I really haven't found any exact dupes, but I've found some really, really great alternatives for a fraction of the price. A lot of recommendations were actually given to me earlier this year when I was doing research on this topic. And in order to fit the vibe of the Diamond Bomb, it would have to be a product that also gives a sheer diamond-like sparkle. A product that was recommended to me time and time again is from Catrice, and this is called the Diamond Haze Highlighter, and this is the shade 1. This retails for $7, and in some ways you could say that the packaging even slightly resembles that from Fenty's How Many Carats. I feel like they were intending to create a dupe here. You can see what it looks like swatched on my hand. I don't think that the sparkle in this one is quite as scattered as the one from Fenty, but you definitely get a very similar effect. Truthfully, I don't think that you would be able to tell much of a difference when you see these two on. Okay, next product I'm going to talk about are the Tower 28 eyeshadow sticks that just came out pretty recently. I've actually done quite a few videos on eyeshadow sticks that have come out this year, and Tower 28 is definitely one of the newer launches. They are at Sephora. Each one retails for about $20. This formula is kind of a gel texture that's water-based. It completely dries down and you don't get any fallout. And there are actually a number of eyeshadow sticks that are kind of similar to this on the market. So I am going to link some of the videos that I've done in the cards for reference. I feel like this is a good solid formula, but you know, $20 per eyeshadow stick can get pricey. So the formula that I think is a good alternative to the Tower 28 and even some of the other higher end eyeshadow sticks on the market is from Naba. Naba Cosmetics is a newer brand to me, but they make a lot of really sparkly products and have a very affordable price point in general. Their eyeshadow sticks retail for around $10, and I believe they have 6 shades, and if you get all 6 shades together, you can actually get it as a bundle for $42. I think the formulas from NABA are quite nice, so if you're looking to try an everyday friendly eyeshadow stick for an affordable price point, I think that this is a good alternative. Okay, and the last product I'm going to talk about are the multi-chrome eyeliners from Cloudicos. Cloudicos is a Cbeautymall brand that's been around for quite a while now, and they've become known for a lot of their sparkly makeup products. In particular, these eyeliners have really withstood the test of time. This is my favorite shade. I absolutely love this tone of cobalt blue. And these eyeliners retail for around $16, which honestly I think is a pretty fair price point. I love to put them in the waterline for a pop of color, but there are some more affordable alternatives. So I'm going to mention another product from NABA Cosmetics. They have multi-chrome eyeliners, and these retail for half of the price, so around $8. I would say that the components themselves maybe don't feel quite as sturdy as the Cloudicos, but they're still pretty good. I definitely feel like they're worth the price, and if you're planning to or want to pick up a bunch of shades, then you're going to save a lot of money. I also feel like NABA isn't a brand that a ton of people know about, so definitely check them out for some good, solid, affordable, sparkly makeup alternatives. All right, now that I've had a chance to go through everything, I would love to hear about what you think of the dupes that I presented in this video. Have you tried any of them? Are you keen to? Do you know of any other great dupes? I would really love to do a video like this again, and another where I just focus on affordable makeup products in general. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to leave your favorite dupe down in the comments. I'd love to see it.